Welcome back to the NFL Draft Bible Players Spotlight Show. I am your host, Chris Shanafelt, and it is a pleasure to welcome back onto the show Tyson Graham, safety for the Atlanta Falcons, of course, formerly of the University of South Dakota, and spent some time last year with the Indianapolis Colts. He is now one of the newest members of the Atlanta Falcons, though, and Tyson joins the show now. And Tyson, really appreciate you hopping on the show. Again, congrats on all the success. What's it feel like to be an Atlanta Falcon?
Oh, man. First off, appreciate you for having me on. It's honestly, it's a great feeling to, be a Falcon. The culture here is amazing. Just the vibe around the guys, the brotherhood that we preach on, the model that we preach, it's real. Everything just seems like, the perfect fit. Great opportunity here. And I'm just ready to get to work, ready to get to training camp. OTAs have been good, getting some of the playbook down pat and getting out there on the field, doing movements and everything like that. So, everything has been, pretty good, since I first got up here.
And talking a little bit about your journey to the league, Tyson, I mean, you're coming from the University of South Dakota, and coming out, you're one of the better defensive backs in all the FCS, if I may say so myself, and then you get an opportunity with the Indianapolis Colts following the draft. Just about a year ago today, you knew where you were heading to start your professional football career. Take us back through your draft journey, what this time of the year was like for you, and what it was like when you found out that you'd be headed to Indianapolis.
So first off, I came out of the University of South Dakota, like you said. D1 AA school. We definitely had some guys come out, prior to me. I ended up training. First of all, I ended up training in Georgia, actually, with Chip Smith down in Norcross, Georgia. Got there, was around a great bunch of guys. Signed with the agency right out there, once I was eligible to. And, the grind was just on, training for pro day and, just trying to get things right, to put myself in the best position, to land, wherever, I end up. I knew I was going to be a kind of a priority free agent. And so I was kind of ready for that. I must say that, this business things do happen, unexpectedly, which is something I had to learn, my first year. But anyways, I ended up getting after the draft, I ended up getting two minicamp invites, one for San Francisco and one for Indianapolis Colts. Luckily, they both were on the same weekend. They were actually a week after each other. The first one I went to San Francisco. It was a bunch of us. It was like about 40 to 50, DBs. So it was a bunch of us up there. But the, competitiveness, that's always going to be there. But I didn't end up getting signed there in San Fran. And, kind of looked at things as though it's not over, from that point. Just keep on grinding and keep going. The situation in Indianapolis, they had a couple guys hurt on the roster at the time. And so I kind of felt like that was the right fit. It could be a right fit, for me to, go in there and try to, work my way in. So, went in for minicamp on the trial basis, try to digest as much information as I can, when I first got there, because it's mostly what they want to do is, they want to, throw as much information at you as possible, see how much you retain, and then the other part is just much more just going out there playing. They know you're going to make mistakes, but it's more so, just hustling, everywhere. And so I just kind of took the opportunity. I did the extra stuff, stayed after, with, after meetings, studied all night in my playbook, took care of my body, just kind of started, getting that mindset of being a pro athlete. And I think that kind of helped my chances, once I was in Indy. I got the chance to sign with them. They wanted to sign me, after the final day of pro day. After the final day of training camp, was there through all out the summer and, played all 4 preseason games. And then ended up getting waived the final day of cuts, I believe, September 2nd. And, like I said, in this business, it's kind of, it's a cutthroat business, but that's something that, everyone's going to have to, something that a lot of, guys, go through, the waiving process and everything like that. You just can't give up. A lot of guys, it's easy for a lot of guys to, kind of say, oh, I got waived, and just kind of like let confidence and everything build now. As far as you thinking that, are you able to play at this level? And, you just got to keep grinding from there because, that's just one opportunity. There's plenty of other opportunities that come along with it because your film is definitely being evaluated, all preseason games, everything like that. That's all going to all 30 teams. So, there's an opportunity that could come from there. And, once I got waived, I just kept literally worked out every single day from September 3rd all the way until, I want to say November when I got to work out with Saskatchewan and, I didn't get signed there, and then I ended up training. I was continuously training, and then I went to Tampa for a combine, like the Pro Player Region combine in Tampa, and then I also ended up getting accepted into the Spring League. And from there, Atlanta actually saw me from the Tampa combine, and also they watched me at the Spring League, so they liked what they seen, and I got blessed with another opportunity, to get back in the league. So,
well, like you said, now college is over. It's strictly a business now with the NFL, and as you just pointed out, it's not easy to stick somewhere. You had that first tryout with San Francisco, and then you have another tryout with Indianapolis. Again, both of these opportunities, nothing's guaranteed. And then you made the most of your opportunity with Indianapolis, stuck around there. Unfortunately, didn't make it past the final cuts leading up to the regular season. But then this opportunity with the Spring League comes around. Again, this was their first, I believe this was their first or inaugural season. Of course, Johnny Manziel headlined the Spring League, was a quarterback for one of the squads there. Talk about your experience with the Spring League, and if you weren't playing in the Spring League, would you be an Atlanta Falcon right now? Exactly how much did that opportunity help you out to get this opportunity in Atlanta?
I think the Spring League, first off, was a great opportunity. Spring League is kind of made up of guys, a lot of guys who either, were a part of a, team through training camp. Maybe some guys were, with teams for, a certain period of time. Like I said, you got guys in there with the experience who've played in the league on active rosters, like Ben Tate, Johnny Manziel, Stephen Hill, just to name a few guys. And really my main focus in the Spring League was to go in and kind of just do everything I can to, to get recognition, to get signed, because literally every day at practice there are, a lot of NFL scouts and CFL scouts that are present on hand. And you're coached by actual, coaches who have a lot of experience and who coached a lot of, years in the NFL. Specifically, my defensive coordinator, Donnie Edwards, he was a 14-year coach in the NFL. Was just recently with the Buffalo Bills as their D coordinator, I believe, last year. So you're also learning, you're grasping NFL knowledge from actual NFL coaches who've been around the game, who've been around the system, who know certain people. So you're also, mental aspect is also, is growing as well. But it's very competitive out there. I would say there's about maybe 100 plus guys split up into 4 teams based off the North, South, West, and East, region. And, every day you kind of start off with just a kind of a view of how practice goes. You start off with Indy, maybe some 1-on-1s, 7-on-7s, and then you do like 2 team periods, and then that's it. So really your opportunities are there. You just have to take advantage of them. And like I said, with a lot of guys, 100 guys, but it's split up into 4 teams. You got to take advantage of literally every rep, just because there's kind of like a rotation of they want to get everyone seen on film. And so my experience there was just I just went in there. I plan on learning the playbook as fast as I can. Thankfully, some of the stuff that I've seen that I learned, our playbook in the Spring League, I kind of ran already previously, in Indy. So everything was kind of similar to me. It's just the terminology was different. So I was able to go in there, pick it up pretty much on the first day. And I just kind of translated that to the field. And, I think my first game, I think I had a pretty good game. My first game that we played, And in practice, I had some pretty good practices. And I think Atlanta kind of seeing that. They kind of seen the physicality. That's what they're big on, the toughness. And like I said, big safeties. They like big safeties. Dan Quinn loves big safeties. And I think they kind of, they like that. And, they brought me in from a workout from that. But I feel like if it wasn't for the spring league, I think I had a feeling I probably would still be in Atlanta. Just don't know as far as when. I kind of had a feeling that Atlanta would, take me at some point. That's just always been in mind. I also wanted to play for Atlanta just because I knew the type of scheme they ran and the kind of, players that they like. And I just feel like with the spring league, this process just kind of actually sped up really as far as, me going to Atlanta. But like I said, they also kind of noticed me at the Tampa Combine, but the spring league, I'm guessing, just kind of put the icing on the cake as far as what they were looking for, and they gave me an opportunity to come in for a tryout, and I did really well on that, and they brought me on board from there. But I would definitely recommend the spring league, and they have a really good thing going on there, actually.
And, one thing I want to point out about the spring league, people hear names like Johnny Manziel, or you mentioned Ben Tate, who spent, 5-6 years in the NFL as well. These are some highly touted football players, so you're going to play against some legit talent, at least from what we've seen last year or this past season at the spring league. But, you guys aren't getting any paychecks. You guys are playing for the love of the game and the next opportunity. So your paycheck from the spring league basically is this opportunity now with the Atlanta Falcons. So you kind of got to play for the love of the game and just give it your all in hopes that it does lead to another opportunity. And that certainly what's happened with you, Tyson. Again, we're chatting with Tyson Graham, Atlanta Falcons safety, and let's look a little bit at this Atlanta Falcons team that you're joining, Tyson. Mm-hmm. Head coach Dan Quinn, obviously, a lot of people are familiar with what he's been able to do with defenses throughout his career, most notably with the Seattle Seahawks and the LOB, the Legion of Boom, Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor. I mean, you could go on and on about the defensive backs that he's kind of helped groom and turn into all pros. Brandon Browner, he helped get Byron Maxwell paid. We'll see if he could, kind of bounce back his career, but anyways, I mean, this is, and then looking at the work that he's been able to do with Atlanta, I mean, this is a team that was just in the Super Bowl and probably should have won the Super Bowl just 2 years ago. So you're not joining, and I know an opportunity with any 32 NFL teams would be great, but you're joining a legit contender here in Atlanta. Right. I gotta think that makes it even more sweeter.
Right, it definitely does. Like you said, the success that Dan Quinn has had and the emphasis he's put on, as far as that mastermind kind of like on defense, is just a great opportunity to be able to play for a coach like that. Like you said, the thing in Seattle with that defense, it was amazing, and kind of doing basically the same thing here. We kind of have basically also the similar guys as well. I mean, we got Keanu Neal, we got Ricardo Allen, Trufant, Robert Alford, Brian Poole. You got guys like that, just around guys like that, hungry and tough and competitive. That energy just kind of turns off to everyone around in that secondary and that defense. Just playing around guys like Deion Jones, Debo, Vic Beasley. Just all that talent on defense, and it's just that's something that you want to be around. And like I said, the culture that he brings to this team it's amazing. And like I said, this opportunity here is great, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Now, I know it's very early on in your Atlanta Falcons tenure, but, I mean, are you able to kind of dissect any differences between the team you're with now compared to your time with Indianapolis?
Not really. I would just say basically, as far as like schematically, the base of what, the defense, other than that, just terminology is just different, and I mean, that's really it. I feel like every team is kind of different, especially culture-wise. But that's really about it. I'm pretty sure I'll probably see more once my time here extends. But so far, really, the only difference I've been able to see is terminology, and of course the setting. Just I'm in South Georgia. Indy, definitely has that different vibe to it. It's being kind of like in the, it's city, but it's also like, it's kind of different. It's not like the country part, like how Georgia is, and kind of that's about it.
All right. Well, obviously, we talked about Dan Quinn and the type of defensive backs he likes. And you really do fit that mold, even going back to and I know a lot of people are going to say, well, what you did in college doesn't really matter anymore. That was, 2 years ago, just about. But, even looking at the tape of your spring league though, man, I mean, you mentioned the physicality you bring to the table. You have the size, obviously, 6'2", 208. And looking at the roster, I really think this is a great opportunity for you. And, not to say that there's not a lot of depth at the defensive back in the defensive backfield with you guys, but I just feel that, and obviously there's going to be, places on the team that's going to be needed to be filled. I mean, I think there's a lot of guys that are walking in with the same opportunity that you have, and I think again, I think this is a great opportunity for you not only to see reps on defense, but obviously first things first is special teams. How important is it for you to kind of make an impact on special teams first and foremost?
I'm big on that. I know I learned that firsthand when you get to the league. That's that's what you're going to play regardless. I mean, but I kind of take pride in special teams. Like you said, that's the easiest way for you to get on the roster. Is being on special teams and just becoming an impact player on special teams. Not just being on there, but actually making plays on special teams. And, with that, of course, comes also, more playing time. There's a lot of guys who've made impact plays, who've become impact players on special teams and have garnered, a lot of playing time and eventually, possibly earn some spots, from that. But here I've just been, grasping everything and kind of utilizing some of the skills that I know from Indy, kind of bringing that here, in practice. But I take pride in special teams. I meet with the coach and everything extra. Just trying to do everything I can to put myself in the best position, possible.
No doubt. A couple more questions for you, Tyson, then we'll let you go. Obviously, in the 2018 NFL draft, the Falcons drafted Calvin Ridley, the receiver out of Alabama, who's been highly touted. Many have thought he's been the surefire number one wide receiver in this draft class. So you pair him up with Julio Jones and Mohamed Sanu, a deadly duo already, getting even stronger. How excited are you to kind of go up against these guys in practice? I mean, a wide receiver core that's going to be looked at as probably the best in the NFL.
Yeah, first off, it's pretty exciting because me and Calvin are from the same area, and actually growing up, even though I'm older than him, we used to always, go against each other, whether it was like backyard football or, just meeting up for like 1-on-1s or 7-on-7s, in the neighborhood. But seeing where his game is elevated to now is incredible. But, just having him and Julio and Mohamed Sanu out there is just kind of crazy. And it could become a mismatch because, it's not like now you just can't double Julio because you also have another receiver who could take the top off the defense. And the thing about Calvin is you're able to kind of place him in. You can place him in the slot, and you can also place him on the outside. At 6'1", he's fast. So like I said, you can take the top off. You have Julio who can take the top off, and then you have Mo who can do just about the same thing. You have to respect that, and then you also have to respect, the two backs that we have in the backfield with Vontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman. So just adding Calvin just adds another weapon to the offense. It makes our offense more dynamic than what it really is, and I'm sure Matt is pretty fired up about that. And I'm excited to kind of get ready to go against them in practice. Iron sharpens iron. And I'm just ready for it,
Yeah, like you said, it's going to ultimately make you better. It's going to make them better in practice going up against them every day. Back in the back of your mind, though, are you kind of happy that you don't have to worry about these guys come game day?
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't want to be on the other side of those on a Sunday. But I'm definitely got to have them on my team. Going up against the best, I feel like that'll make, prepare me, going up against other teams on Sunday. But yeah, I definitely want to see them on a Sunday.
Now, I know you don't want to look too far ahead into the future, probably just taking it day by day right now, Tyson, but I got to ask you, I mean, you're playing in a conference in the NFC South, which is loaded with talent, specifically at quarterback. Of course, Matt Ryan is your guy in Atlanta. You got Jameis Winston in Tampa Bay, Drew Brees in New Orleans, and Cam Newton in Carolina. Out of those three, who are you most excited to play against?
Probably have to say Cam. Just seeing Cam do what he's been doing since Auburn and not letting it translate over to the NFL with Carolina. Just kind of just being on the field, with him playing against that, the type of competitor that he is. I think it'll be fun. He's a big guy. I mean, not to take anything away from Drew and those guys, but just Cam. Like I said, just been watching, man. I think it'll be fun. Jameis is pretty nice too. Kind of strong arm, and same thing with Drew. But like I said, Cam is running quarterback, and that makes we like running quarterbacks. Makes it fun for us. But I think Cam will definitely be the person who I'm looking forward to playing.
Well, that speaks obviously to the physicality then. To your game, obviously, looking forward to hitting a guy like that. I mean, he's bigger than most tight ends out in the NFL.
Oh yeah,
Cam Newton is. Final question for you, Tyson. Again, obviously, a lot of guys that are preparing for the NFL draft, or maybe now they're going through rookie mini camp or trying out for an NFL team. I mean, what advice would you give to those who aspire to be where you're at right now in the NFL, signed to a team? That maybe you didn't know when you were heading in last year?
I would say just take every day at a time. Don't try to think too ahead, and don't try to put too much pressure on yourself. And just kind of stay in your playbook, and just kind of start training. Just train like a pro, because that's what you are now. A lot of guys get too tense, every day, and it kind of lets that stuff. Everything just kind of clouds their mind, and they're not able to go out there and play the best that they can play because their mind is just everywhere. They're thinking about this and that, and I mean just go out there and do what you can do. I mean, just do what you do. I mean, you're here for a reason. I mean, teams see something in you, they're going to bring you up for a reason. It's just more so about taking advantage of the opportunity and just utilizing the things that you have. I mean, you can lean on some guys, some older guys. They'll actually kind of, give you kind of like that mentorship and that helping hand, lead you the right way, but you just have to take advantage of, everything, whether that's treating your body right, eating right, getting the proper amount of sleep, studying more, just things
whether
like
that's trying out for a CFL team like you did yourself or going to another league like the Spring League.
Right, and even doing that, I mean, because I didn't think that I would honestly be doing that or playing in another league like the Spring League. But I mean, that opportunity presented itself, and I took it, and a great thing happened out of that, and I'm pretty sure that's going to happen for someone else. Someone else is going to have the same success story. Because I can understand being out for a year is really hard. Not playing football being out of season is hard. And you start to get to wondering, like, wow, when am I going to get another shot again? And it could get challenging, and you can get discouraged from it. But you just got to keep grinding and just know that it's not over. Don't worry about the team part. Let your agent kind of handle that aspect of things like that, and just continue to go out there and do your part is what you can do. And then once that opportunity arises, just take advantage of it, and just go out there, and do what you do.
How's South Dakota going to do this year, Tyson? I mean, they're losing some more key pieces. My guy Chris Shanafelt just signed with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Man, give us an update on South Dakota football team and how they're going to do this year.
Well, I think first of all, the quarterback position is going to be in good hands with you got Austin Simmons back there. Austin is a really good quarterback, and I think this year a lot of teams will see it. He'll take a lot of people by surprise. He actually has one of the strongest arms I've seen. I think for that part, they're going to be pretty good. Still got a couple receivers coming back. A lot of guys finishing right here on their last season. Running game is going to be pretty good. You got Mike coming back, and then on defense wise, secondary, a lot of those guys got pushed in some starter roles pretty late in the season, which kind of helps, with experience. And I expect for them guys to bring everyone else and rally everyone else around and kind of get those guys going. But I think they're going to be pretty good. I got a chance to watch their spring game a little bit. I'll actually be keeping tabs on them again. And but I think they can possibly make another run in the playoffs this year. Like you said, losing Scrub was a big loss. What Scrub can bring to a team, but I still do feel like they're in good hands with Austin Simmons at quarterback. And looking forward to seeing what they pull off this year.
Yeah, I'll go to my grave in saying that Streveler should have won that Walter Payton award last year, man. That was insane to me. But probably the most fun team to watch last year, University of South Dakota, man, hands down. Hell of a season. Hopefully they could carry that success on to this year. Obviously playing in a very tough Missouri Valley football conference. It's tough each and every year. But with that said, Tyson, really appreciate you taking some time to chat this evening. Really happy for you. Congratulations on all the success, and here's to making the 53-man roster there in Atlanta, man. Best of luck.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man.